racist and hate-filled language. Also prohibited are actions or comments that cause a disturbance or disruption, including loud and boisterous comments, jeers, applause, or shouts from the audience. If these meeting rules are violated, the board chair will first give a verbal warning. If the behavior continues, the board chair may mute the speaker's microphone, ask the disruptive person or persons to leave the meeting room, or temporarily recess the meeting until order is restored. Based on our interpretation of the Open Meetings Law, the board is here to listen to input. This is not the forum for the board to respond to those comments given, as they are not on the agenda as required by the Open Meetings Law. At this time, I'll call the first 5 speakers. For the record, please restate your name before addressing the board, and please be aware of the chime that will indicate the end of your 3-minute time slot. We have Alex Kruger, then we have Kimberly Purefoy, Lenora Westbrook, Wiley Elzemeyer, and Michael Neal. So we'll go ahead and start with Alex Kruger.
Hi, my name is Alex Kruger. This is my 3rd year teaching middle school ELA in DCSD. I had a speech prepared about how I saw firsthand what a difference middle school recess made on student focus, thank you, when I taught in Chicago and Los Angeles. But I had to pivot last week because of another pressing issue. DeKalb County is enforcing its new ELA textbook curriculum, and we have been told that there is no longer any place in language arts classes for whole novel study units. Spending the entire year reading textbook excerpts without reading even one entire book is crushing to me as a language arts teacher. College professors have been sounding the alarms over the past year. College students are losing the ability to read entire books. Quote, now students are intimidated by anything over 10 pages. Smartphones, social media, and COVID learning loss have contributed to this phenomenon, but these professors are citing the fact that K-12 schools are assigning excerpts instead of whole books. How did this happen? Textbook excerpts mimic the standardized test format. I take my job preparing my students for the milestones very seriously, but not by eliminating books and crafting the entire curriculum to be test prep. I feel like DeKalb County is a district where book banning would never happen, but this is essentially banning books. The 2024 NAEP reported that 33% of 8th graders scored below basic on reading skills. At the same time, only 14% of students said they read for fun almost every day, dropping in half since 2012. Perhaps getting more students to read for fun will help increase reading comprehension, but that will not happen by eliminating books from schools. My ELA team carefully went through the Unit 1 pacing plan, mapping out how we would address the standards with the prescribed textbook selections and a very short novel. And we were told by our district ELA coordinator that was not allowed. We are not trying to disregard the district's pacing plan. We just want to incorporate whole books, and I would be happy to work with you on the pacing plan to make this happen. This mandate is stripping away my best practices. Our district area ELA coordinator even filmed my book club unit to share with principals across the district as a model for differentiated, high-level, truly student-led academic discourse. Students need to get deep into topics, plot, and character development, which isn't possible with excerpts. As a teacher, I measure my success not only by my students' test scores, but also by the beautiful moments. Ms. Kruger, no, don't stop reading. Ms. Kruger, I didn't think I would like reading a book, but I have to hand it to you. I actually like it. Ms. Kruger, I see myself in this book. Almost every single year of my 15 years of teaching, I've had students tell me this is the first book I've actually ever read from start to finish. I'm heartbroken that I will not be able to ensure all my students this year have read at least one book in their life. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kruger. Let's see, up next, got on the last page. We have the students. Oh, we have Kimberly Purefoy next. Oh, okay. We'll circle back on that one. I think that person might not be here yet or be ready. Lenora Westbrook. Wiley Elzemeyer. It's okay. They have two different, you guys have two different slots, so you're okay.
Hello, my name is Lenora Westbrook. I am a third grader at Fernbank Elementary. First, 15 minutes is not enough time. By the time our class transitions to the playground and then back to the classroom again, we really only have 5 minutes to play. More recess equals better test scores. Studies show that recess improves focus and academic performance, leading to better test scores in schools with recess. Physical activity during recess increases oxygen flow to the brain, which makes it easier to think. Also, breaks for recess reduce stress and anxiety, which helps students to succeed on classroom assignments. When the MAP test comes around, it is very stressful, and recess gives you a brain break and a time to focus on playing and not necessarily what is ahead, because that might just make kids more stressed. Lastly, recess is an important time to get our wiggles out and come back ready to learn. Studies show that schools with less recess have more behavior problems from students. We think this is because kids don't have the time to get their energy out. Also, many kids work out problems with other students during recess. There are lots of fights with this one group of girls that I always play with, and if we can't work it out, it ends up to be really nasty during classwork time. That causes disruption in work or maybe behavior problems that teachers have to deal with. If we had more time to solve our conflicts, then we could solve problems in our own special way that could be better or give kids better social skills with other kids. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Wiley Elsmeyer. Thank you for coming here today and allowing me to give my opinion about my recess length. Recess helps kids focus, which rises test scores. I like to play on different structures, and I don't have time to play on all of them. We have over 300 signatures from students that want more recess. When math tests come around, it takes a lot of time for me to finish the test, and going to recess is a total relief because it gives my brain time to rest. I have friends that like totally different things, so I don't get to play with all of them. So I have two requests. One, at least 30 minutes of recess. Two, we need to give principals a say in recess length. Thank you.
Thank you. Lenora and Wiley, thank you all for coming. I am the one that caused the confusion about the 2 sign-up slots. I apologize. I did not realize it with elementary students, so thank you for bearing with me, and excellent job. Thank you. All right, next we have Michael Neal.
Thank you so much. My name is Michael Neal, and I assure you I will not be able to outdo that. I actually want to speak about a similar topic. I'm here again as a member of Fernbank Elementary's Principal Advisory Council to discuss DeKalb County's policy and practice related to unstructured break time in its elementary schools. I have 3 children, ages 4 to 11 in DCDS. I serve on PAC, I'm on the foundation board, and I've spent the last 10 years as a member of Vanderbilt University's College of Education. So I'm here to offer what I can as a parent, a PAC officer, and an education researcher. As I stated 30 days ago, DCDS's current policy of a 15-minute unstructured break time falls 25% short of empirically established minimum standards and 50% short of the state of Georgia's recommendations. I will not restate the empirical findings that I and others offered at the last meeting, which demonstrated that robust playtime is essential for child learning and development. because this information is now readily available to you. It is in fact readily available to all of the parents of DeKalb County who wish to Google minimum school recess time. I will attempt to state the situation as explicitly as we understand it. In short, the unstructured break time policy of DCDS is demonstrably out of alignment with what research suggests are minimum standards for student learning and health. The practice of this administration is to interpret this policy as a maximum and not a minimum. Therefore, for the last 30 days, our district has knowingly been out of compliance with minimum basic standards for student learning and health by constraining recess time as it has. For the last 30 days, parents, teachers, and principals have waited for a change in either policy or practice, and we're still waiting. Although I signed up to join the conversation that was sent out in an email this morning, I will state frankly that we do not need a mediation process because there is nothing that needs mediating. What we need is for this board and this administration to remediate a problem that is demonstrably bad for student learning and health. So we have two requests that can be addressed as soon as you decide to do so. First of all, board members, please align board policy with at least minimum AAP standards for unstructured break time. Dr. Horton, please grant principals autonomy to align their schedules to at least minimum AAP standards for our children. Thank you for your time and consideration of these requests. I greatly appreciate all you do for the children of our county.
Thank you. Next, we have Mary Claire McKenna, and on deck, we have Joe Williams, Emily Johnson, Deborah Jones, and Kathia Similton Treminio.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Superintendent, and DeKalb County school staff. My name is Mary Claire McKenna, and I'm a senior at Druid Hills High School. And one day every month, from the months of August to May, I sit in my doctor's office for 3 hours, receiving an allergy shot that helps prevent me from breaking out in hives, having life-threatening asthma attacks, and sometimes, only sometimes, can prevent me from getting sick. Funny enough, I don't have to worry about those things in June and July. Why? Because I don't have to go to Druid Hills High School. 10 months of the year, my peers, teachers, students, and other students have to sit in classrooms filled with toxic mold. Every one of us has to breathe toxic air. It doesn't matter how many times you ignore the tests that you're sent by teachers. It doesn't matter that you slap another coat of paint on the green and black tinged walls to make them look white again. The mold is still there. We are still sick. Please don't try to tell me that you don't know about these issues. Students from Druid Hills High School, who are now seniors in college, stood exactly where I'm standing 4 years ago and told you about these problems. On February 1st of 2023, you approved over $50 million to modernize Druid Hills High School. I'm not really sure where that money is, though, because we're approaching the 3-year anniversary of that date. I didn't realize 3 coats of paint costed $50 million. I'm a senior. Come May 18th, I don't have to worry about suffocating in my school building ever again. I'm not standing here to tell you to fix this for me. I'm standing here because the staff, teachers, and future students of Druid Hills deserve better, some of which stood right here just a minute ago. They deserve a school where they don't have to worry about asthma attacks, migraines, or illnesses just from showing up to class. The Druid Hills community deserves transparency about where our $50 million went, and a clear plan for when real renovations will begin, and also accountability from those entrusted with our education and safety. The time for your excuses is over. We need action because our health, our futures, and our lives are worth more than just some paint on a wall. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe Williams. I'll circle back. Emily Johnson. Oh, is that Williams? Okay. Sure, come on up. Thank you.
I'd like to say good afternoon, everyone. And I just feel good coming up here talking for the bus driver. And sometimes I can't sleep at night to wonder how the bus driver gonna put gas in their car to come to drive the school bus. Sometimes I wonder how we're gonna pay our light bill. And I want to do the board and the superintendent look at us and know we have to live too. How about when we have to send our kid to bed, maybe have got nothing to eat? And I think that they should up our salary a little bit. I think that they giving us the crumb, and I think we need to get more than just the crumb. And I just feel my heart feel hurt right now, and my heart is broken. I feel like we not treated like you said we haul the pressure cargo back and forth to school. But is it treating us like we really doing a good job with our cargo? And my thing is this: you got to pay that bus driver enough to live off of. Everything getting 9%. We only getting 2%. I mean, how are we gonna pay our light bill? How are we gonna send our kid on a field trip? That stuff costs money. But how can we do this if they keep our hand tied? And Jesus said, don't just give them the crumb. And sometimes I wonder, is them getting the crumb? And I'm gonna tell you like it is. And I don't wanna hurt nobody's feeling, but you gotta think about the bus driver. How you gonna get to the bus if we ain't got money to put gas in our car? How we gonna pay our light bill? How we gonna pay our rent, our mortgage? And I want the superintendent, I want the board to understand that. We got to live too, we got to eat. But you look at me, I'm okay. 'Cause I may be doing better than some of you guys doing. But I'm 85 years old. And I ain't gonna leave the school district until I could be 90 years old till you get some benefit. Because right now we don't have anything. If you stay out 35 years on this job, you walk away with $600 a month. Could you live off of $600 a month? No! Nobody can live off of $600 a month. So, superintendent, the board, my heart bleeds. But y'all should think about the bus driver. If you can do anything to help the bus driver, help them. Don't just give us the crumb, because we is better than just the crumb. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Emily Johnson.
I have something to you now.
You can give that to staff. Thank you. Start? Yes.
Good evening, board members. The board website states this meeting began at 11 a.m. with no time listed for public attendance part. Please publish and widely advertise accurate, complete info for the public's attendance of meetings. Ease of access for promotion of civic participation should be encouraged and facilitated. I'm here to discuss unstructured break times. 15 minutes could be a great but tiny break for our small children if children were free to get vigorous physical exercise. Unfortunately, Redan Elementary, the principal has stated it's at the teacher's discretion to bring the children outside for recess or not. This would suggest that a teacher could very well choose to not have the children go outside for the entire school year. Most days of last school year, my kindergartner was given a brain break instead of outdoor recess. The teacher would play a video on YouTube and students had to stand behind their chairs and dance or not dance. In a meeting with her teacher and the principal argued this was an unstructured break because the children could dance however they wanted, despite having to remain within a couple of square feet. In a classroom with desks, chairs, and backpacks, unstructured activity is a lot more limited than what an outdoor break would afford. A change of scenery can provide a needed reset for children who are learning all day. Benefits to outdoor play translate into benefits for the classroom learning, the teacher, the school, and over time to the people who join the adult population of society. Vitamin D, decreased obesity, improved fine motor skills, improved bone health, better vision, enhanced mood, reduced stress, better sleep, enhanced social skills, increased confidence, and independence. The list goes on. Here's something else to keep in mind. I appreciate the fact that our school district provides a balanced breakfast and lunch for our students. While some don't get a balanced dinner at home, at least they can have 2 other square meals at school. Some circumstances of DeKalb County parents may impede their child's opportunity to play outside after school, and every one of us would struggle for playtime outdoors as the daylight hours decrease and the mildest temperatures are during school hours. By ensuring an outdoor recess for our children, this need, if not met at home, is guaranteed by the school. I've given you the New York State Senate Bill 6 6858, sponsored by Democratic Senator Rachel May. This bill ensures a 30-minute break for recess on school days longer than 5 hours for grades K through 5 and states recess shall be held outside whenever possible, including in the winter months, but if held indoors, shall be in an appropriate space that promotes physical activity. Locations for indoor recess could include cafeteria during non-meal times, a portion of the gym, empty room or hallway, etc. Please consider adopting this New York State bill as our own DeKalb County unsupervised break guidelines. Our children will love it, and they and the entire community of educators and parents will also benefit from it.
Next up, Deborah Jones.
Good evening, Board Chair Mrs. Pierce, Vice Chair Mrs. Guberts, Dr. Horton, and members of the board. I'm Deborah Jones, a middle school teacher and proud president of the Organization of DeKalb Educators. While we have tried to work to make things better for the employees here in DeKalb, there seems to always be roadblocks that are thrown up against us. But that is, be that as it may, we need the district to work with us. We say to you, help us help you. It's apparent to me that we have people in place who either, one, don't know their jobs, or they don't want the job. In either case, something must be done. You have to know that you can't continue making mistakes with the employees' money, with administrators who haven't learned to speak with adults as adults, even with emails and telephone calls not being answered. While this is a school district, it is also a business. We're in the business of educating students. We must be about this business each and every day. If this district was run like a real business, the board, the superintendent, admins, teachers, secretaries, nurses, custodian staff, HR, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, nor would I have a job. I'm here every month talking about what this district isn't doing to make working here better for all. One example is of a media specialist. HR accidentally, she was told, deleted as an employee. She has no access, as if she doesn't exist. HR said they were working to reverse this mistake. Over the summer, HR sent someone with the same name, retirement paperwork, to this employee's house. The employee brought it back to the district. HR says someone just looked at the wrong address. The employee is concerned that her retirement information, taxes, direct deposit, and other personal things will be impacted. When will people come to work, come to know that what they do is work, and all they want to do is be paid and be left alone to do that work? Let's talk about an employee who was coded wrong in terms of their job classification, by no fault of their own. This employee is working under the most unreal situation I've ever heard of. DeKalb, we must do better. Again, help us help you. Thank you.
Next up, Kathia Similton Trevino.
Dr. Horton and Board, this is my third appearance before you in less than a year. You have received our emails, certified letters to address the continued discrimination and illegal application of non-existent policies my daughter and family have been subjected to at Ashford Park Elementary, specific to the German program, which continues to compromise her safety, dignity, and access to federally funded programs. We respectfully, again, request to meet with you, Dr. Horton, today. Direct and transparent dialogue with you is critical and imperative. Immediate correction action to instate our daughter in the German program she was unjustly and deliberately removed from, an outcome of clearly aligned goals with the criminal emails our family received. As medically requested, a 504 plan. And above all, we demand that the district protect our rights as parents to protect and advocate our daughter, a constitutional right entitled by federal law that includes FERPA, IDA, and the 14th Amendment. Schools cannot use legal disputes or administrative procedures to block a student's right to access information or their parents to communicate with their child's educators. It is unethical and a clear conflict of interest for the district to insist on routing all communications through a staff member or subordinates who are persons of interest in an ongoing criminal investigation. We identified serious issues, safety issues, on the first and second day of school, reported these issues, and were provided false information regarding our daughter's safety. Her safety is a non-negotiable. While sick and awaiting the district's intentionally delayed notice of resolve on August 28th at 3:30, we received notice that our daughter had been automatically withdrawn from the school district. No prior communication was made. We immediately arrived at the next morning to re-enroll her with multiple forms of valid documentation. Almost every one of them was arbitrarily rejected. While not 100%, our daughter returned only to be subjected to another school-induced trauma experience. Without prior notice, she was removed from her classroom by 2 unknown adults. She was publicly shamed and humiliated in front of her third-year cohort of classmates and told she was being removed from the German immersion program, a sentiment echoed again in the criminal email sent to our family. During this horrid experience, our daughter asked to call us multiple times. She was denied. Only when she emotionally shut down in the office was she allowed to contact me herself from her personal phone with permission, in tears, asking why do these people hate her and why was she alone in the room being removed from the program, the only student removed. I arrived within minutes and demanded to see my daughter. As she was accosted, the principal scrambled to send a backdated email written in past tense and time stated after my daughter's desperate call for help. Just another traumatic, unauthorized meeting. Here are the reasons the school district cited for refusing to re-enroll our child. 1, attendance despite medically excused absences. 2, incorrectly claiming our daughter was in the 3rd grade and she's in the 2nd. 3, misstating her age as 8 when she is 7. And most egregiously, attempting to combine medical excuses from last year with this year. Our child deserves better, and we will not be silent. Thank you.
Next up, we have Niskari Supris, Salem Tekla, Felicia Murphy, Jocelyn O'Neill, Susanna Jacquiero, and Willie Pringle. So Niskari Supris first, thanks.
Good evening, board. My name is Niskari Supris, and I'm in front of you today as a concerned parent, longtime volunteer with the Stevenson High School Marching Band. My child has been a dedicated member of the band since 8th grade, and now she's a senior. I have volunteered with the band for those past 5 years. I'm aware there are ongoing operation issues between the Dekalb County School District and Georgia State at Hartford Stadium, and unfortunately those issues have negatively impacted our students. Our marching band students invest countless hours in practice to perform at weekly football games and events. Recently, at home games held at Hartford Stadium, the band has been subjected to arbitrary new rules that hinder their ability to perform and enjoy these events. This past Friday, the band was unexpectedly told they had to leave the stadium with 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter without any explanations. Officers crowded around the band, escorting them out as if they posed threat, despite there being no harmful incidents. This sudden dismissal raised significant safety concerns as there were no clear plan for safety for the students exiting the stadium. Our chaperones were unexpectedly were not told of this situation. They were simultaneously trying to clean up the stand and move equipment, leaving students unattended while they were being rushed out of the stadium. Furthermore, we had 2 chaperones, aged 72 and 63, that were also told to hurry up and leave the stadium. This does not make any sense. Many students were understandably upset about being forced to leave the game early and not being allowed to perform what is called the 5th quarter, a cherished cultural tradition. It appears that hardworking students are being penalized for circumstances beyond their control. This is particularly perplexing given that the games now start a half hour earlier. So I'm not sure what the concern is there. If it's safety truly was a concern, it is illogical to remove band members while cheerleaders and football players who are also students remain at the stadium. The stadium is arguably the safest place for students when there's a full parking lot outside. In the 5th quarter performance traditionally helps clear that traffic. We have an agreed upon compromise already in place that is being overlooked. Additionally, prohibiting parents and supporters from attending the band festival at Hartford is also unacceptable. I urge the board to resolve any dispute between DeKalb County and Georgia State intentionally without allowing them to negatively affect our students. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Salam Tekla.
Thank you, Ms. Pierce. I want to thank you for your service and the opportunity to speak. My name is Salam Tekla. I am a parent at Stone Mountain Elementary School. I have my grandmother. She's 1928, born 1928 in Chicago, retired from the school board in Kankakee County. She moved here to a Title I area in Clayton County. I started school in Title I. My mother just recently retired from South Fulton Title I school. I've never seen a Title I school in Metro Atlanta with less gifted services than at Stone Mountain Elementary. I appreciate the correspondence I received today to address that, and I intend on that. And I have had a lot of correspondence since first volunteering on the first day of school. Since then, I have not had a lot of positive feedback from my daughter. She asked me if she could be removed from gifted services. Now, many moons ago, when I was her age, I was afforded exposure to coding. I was able to take a field trip, Huntsville. This was under myself at E.W. Oliver Elementary. Now, that being said, North and South County schools, it's always going to be an issue when you're talking about Title I and your affordable housing and things like that. Gifted services provides the opportunity for a fair chance for your higher achieving students to be leaders in the school. Now, in 2025, I don't see why there shouldn't be exposure to technology. I'm not seeing much of that. My daughter has a interest in robotics, and I think that's something that is low-hanging fruit. From what I know about some of the North County clusters, they are in the top of the state in performance. Stone Mountain is in the bottom. So that's the gap. The other thing, a 0.5 allocation. I don't know what a 0.5 allocation is, and I know she didn't receive services last year. She also, as fourth graders, did not have a field trip last year. That being said, we may be able to make that up this year, but we don't have time to have these moments. The culture, wrap it up. We have a member of the board of East African descent, immigrant. I don't think that we have a cultural representation at the school. Maybe a flag or two, maybe. I see what you have outside. Other thing, if you want to engage the community, go to Memorial Drive. Have some injera. You can find people, engage those students. Lastly, the school was built in 1925. Happy birthday, 100 years.
Thank you, Mr. Tekle. Okay. Next, Felicia Murphy.
Good evening, members of the DeKalb Board of Education. My name is Felicia Murphy, and I'm a parent of an elementary child in DeKalb Schools, and my elected school board representative is Allison Gewirtz. Tonight, I urge you to recognize that recess is not a luxury. It is a legal, developmental, and ethical necessity. 30 minutes of daily recess is not arbitrary. It aligns with research-based standards for physical health, executive functions, and emotional regulations. It supports IDEA implementation for students with ADHD and OHI, And it fulfills the spirit of FAPE by ensuring access to whole child supports. Recess is where children practice self-regulations, build peer relationships, and recover cognitively from academic demands. It is not optional. It is foundational. And yet, instead of addressing this need directly, the district has announced a so-called solution-focused stakeholder discussion scheduled vaguely for September. This 4-hour meeting, announced on August the 15th, offers no agenda, no goals, no transparency. Worse, it is to be facilitated by a company whose methodology is defunct, and the whole operation has ceased. It is defunct, and the whole operation has been ceased. Emails from 30 for Recess to Dr. Horton requesting clarification have gone unanswered. And let me be clear, a meeting without a resolution goal is not a solution. It is a delay tactic. It is not genuine engagement. It is procedural theater. Families, educators, advocates deserve more than symbolic gestures. They deserve a commitment to action, and we're not asking for perfection. We're asking for 30 minutes of protected, meaningful recess, daily, district-wide, and equitably implemented. We are asking for compliance with child development standards and not just conflict resolution. So tonight, we ask you to move beyond discussion. We ask you to commit to implementation, because 30 for Recess is not just a slogan, it's a commitment to fairness, dignity, and child well-being. Every child in DeKalb, regardless of zip code, race, and/or ability, deserves the space to play, grow, and come back to the classroom ready to learn. Thank you.
Jocelyn O'Neill.
I need recess. Y'all need some recess. Need that 15, 30 minutes. Everybody need that 30 minutes. How y'all doing this evening? I want to thank you all for being here. Haven't seen you in a long time. So, I've had to reach out to the principal at Salem Middle School twice. I've gone there twice. Have not had a phone call, email, anything from him per se. My husband and I took the time to go up to have a conversation with him. Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm administrative clerical. I've done a lot of things in my life, but every office should have a message book that you can put a message on and put the message where the administrator, whoever, can get it, not take a sticky note and stick it up on the side of the computer. I experienced that. I was very disappointed about that. My husband was also. I'm here in support of the athletic program that they have at Salem Middle. We took the time to go out and walk the field, both fields, the baseball field and the football field. The contraption that's thrown to the back of the field is a sleigh, where the football players put their shoulder pads on and they run up against it. This thing is so old and rusted out, and it's so old that they cannot even find the pads to go on. That's unacceptable. And it's pushed to the back of the field as if it's just a pile of trash. It could be sold for metal or whatever, to get some kind of money for it. And it's a sad thing, because there was originally a high school. I don't think the track has ever been refurbished since 1950. I wouldn't run a horse on it. I'm a country girl. We raise cattle. And I know if you go to the races, after a race, they take the graders and go around and grade the track up so that the next race, the horses will be on good surface. Now, what about our children, their feet and ankles, their backs? They should have the privilege, and I know there's some money somewhere. Dr. Horton, I want you to see it. I want you to take the time to go out there and go to that backfield where those young men practice football that have ant hills in it. Ant hills. The drains on the side are just packed up with pine straw and grass. They cut the grass, but you got so many bushes and weeds on the side. Even an old chair is thrown off on the side. We have broken limbs, dead limbs that have been hanging over the little drive where you come in to go to the track. Dead limbs hanging out of the tree on the path, on the roadway. It's time for us to give our children what they deserve. They need markings on that field, just like when they go to any other field to play. Those fields need to be marked up for those children.
Susanna Jacaro.
Good evening, board members. My name is Susanna. This is my son. I'm a parent of an elementary child in DeKalb. My elected board representative is Allison Gewurz. We've touched on science and policy of recess. Tonight, I want to address something deeper, equity. Across the country, and yes, in Georgia, not all children get equal access to recess. Data from the CDC and academic studies show that students in under-resourced schools often get less recess than their peers in wealthier districts. This isn't because these children need less movement. It's often because their schools face higher testing pressures, fewer playground resources, or less protected recess policy. The disparities go further. Students with disabilities are disproportionately likely to have recess withheld, sometimes for unfinished schoolwork, sometimes for behavioral infractions. The same is true for Black and Latinx students, who research shows are more likely to face exclusionary discipline that can take away recess time. These patterns don't just rob students of play. They widen opportunity gaps in health, social development, and academic readiness. I slowed down on purpose. Just last Friday, my child was held from an unstructured break to finish classwork. Not recess, but an unstructured break. That's unacceptable. This is why recess is an equity issue. Access to unstructured play is access to dignity, health, and the opportunity to thrive in school. It is not a, quote, extra. It is a fundamental component of whole child education. When one group of students routinely gets less of it, we are denying them something essential. Federal law already points us in this direction. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, students are entitled to FAPE, the Free Appropriate Public Education, one that meets their unique needs. For many students with ADHD, autism, or other health impairments, recess is not a luxury. It's an educational support that directly enables them to focus, regulate, and access the curriculum. When recess is withheld, whether because of resource limitations, punitive discipline, or implicit bias, we are not just taking away, quote, playtime. We're reducing their access to education, health, and joy. The board has a power to change that. Mr. Horton, Dr. Horton, you have the power to change that before the legislative session in late 2026. You could change this legislation, you could change this policy in the real time. 30 for Recess is not just a slogan. It's a commitment to fairness, dignity, and child well-being. It's a commitment to whole child well-being. Every child in DeKalb, regardless of zip code, race, or ability, deserves the space to play, grow, and come back into the classroom ready to learn. Let's make that promise real.
Willie Pringle, and on deck, Kimberly Purefoy, if you're here.
First of all, I'd like to say, first giving honor to God, thanking him for allowing me to be a voice for the voiceless. Dr. Horton, I want to say, I'm still waiting to have that one-on-one man talk with you. When you first came in, Dr. Horton, the first meeting you had, I asked you, would you give me a call so we can have a talk? I'm not here to be no enemy. I've been in the school system 40-some years, volunteering. Even before I had a child. But I was concerned about my tax dollars still to this day. Every voice I have heard here this afternoon, This is in your corner. It's in your court now, Dr. Horton. You have the help, but you got to want to listen. Because, see, by you just coming in, Dr. Horton, you don't even have no idea how messed up this dysfunctional school system of DeKalb County. Because when I look at it and see, the problem I have is with the board. The board is the problem. When I look at it and see, our children are the victim here because they're not getting what they want. When I look at it and see all the infraction that's going on up under your watch, lawsuits are being filed because you got people employed that shouldn't even be in the system. Because right now I know we're going to be hit with 3 major lawsuits. Should not occur at all, period. And Dr. Horton, I told you about one of them. You made an area superintendent that shouldn't have never been. But we're going to have to pay as taxpayers. We're going to have to pay. And this should not be. This is robbing our children. At the end of the day, board people, y'all that's on the board, I'm serving notice on y'all. When I look at and see now, y'all have a position that y'all supposed to be looking out for the children's welfare. But then when I look at the employees that's leaving out of DeKalb County, because you got people that's in this system should have been out of here years ago, Dr. Horton. They're not going to be honest with you. But you're looking at Mr. Pringle going to tell you the truth, okay? I'm not going to lie to you, because why? A lie need a crutch, but the truth don't need no crutch, okay? And I'm here to say to you, at the end of the day, Dr. Horton, like I said to you, my brother, I love you with the love of Jesus. But please, don't unpack your suitcase here, because rest assured, behind this, you're not going to be around long, my brother. Thank you.
Kimberly Purefoy.
My name is Kimberly Purefoy, a mother of 4, a DeKalb County resident for over 30 years, and I'm here with the Honorable State Representative Abel Mabel Thomas. And I feel that I'm 6 years and 4 months late for this meeting to address the school board. In June 2019, my daughter Elise Imani Purefoy was a 17-year-old honor student, a rising senior at Arabia Mountain High School, and an athlete and dancer most of her life, who had just made the dance team at Arabia when she collapsed during an outdoor summer conditioning training. It was reported that that occurred after she had complained that she could not feel her legs and had begged for water several times while running. And it was reported that she was denied water and told to keep going until she collapsed. According to the ambulance report, the ambulance was not called for an hour after she collapsed. In the meantime, buckets of ice were poured on her. Once 911 was called and arrived, I was then called twice from the field by a coach. First to inform me that my daughter had fallen out and would be taken to the hospital, and second to tell me that the paramedics had some questions for me before taking Elise to the hospital. Meanwhile, Elise lay on the field. After they did take her, Elise's heart stopped on the way to the hospital, but they got it back and continued to work on her for about 2 hours at the closest hospital. But in the end, they said they could not keep her heart going and that we would have to say goodbye, as my daughter passed away on that day, needlessly. There was an article that came out a week later called "The Culture of Hazing" on this dance team, stating that the dancers would be given water in a bottle cap. after they would beg for water and were made to run more laps and dance first. Now, 6 years later, lightning has struck twice at the same school. And now 15-year-old Micah King has died after a football workout at Arabian Mountain High School this summer. I don't know what exactly happened to Micah King, but I do know that the safety of our children is in serious question. I don't want to reopen this painful wound, but we must have some answers. With my daughter, to my understanding, there was no emergency action plan followed, no defibrillators used, in addition to the hour-long delay in calling the ambulance. Yet an autopsy came out 2 months later saying that Elise had died from a heart defect and that the girls were given water after every lapse. Case closed, yet it does not add up. So now we must know what are the safety policies and emergency procedures in place in the schools and that were or were not followed in 2019, and to protect our children now that another child has died. Thank you.
Right. Sorry for your loss. I appreciate you coming. To all of our speakers who took the time out of their busy days to come speak this evening, we very much appreciate it. At this time, that concludes public comment. So I will advise the chair that we are ready to continue with our meeting this evening.
And thank you very much, Ms. Gewurz. And again, thank you to all the speakers this evening.